So I'm here with Ranui Earls, builder and community member of New Orleans, and it's a pleasure to meet you and speak with you about some exciting stuff that's happening down there. And yeah, so Global Green, which obviously I work for, is we have our 20 for 20 campaign in rebuilding 20 homes in the lower Ninth Ward, each budgeted at $375,000. From your
Mhm.
perspective as a builder, what does that investment per home mean for quality, resilience, and sustainability?
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, thanks for having me on and introducing me. It's definitely a pleasure being here and working with you guys. Um, from my perspective as a builder, so a $375,000 investment per home allows us to balance quality, resilience, and sustainability in a meaningful way. All right. So at that budget, we're not just talking about putting up a structure that meets minimum code. We're able to build a home that is durable, energy efficient, and designed for long-term affordability. Now, for quality, it means we can use materials and finishes that hold up in the New Orleans climate, reducing both maintenance costs for the homeowner. And for resilience, it gives us the ability to build above the base flood elevation. So that way, if it floods, the house is high enough that it's not going to be affected by that. Um, and then also it's going to allow us to integrate stronger foundations and use hurricane rated windows, roofing, and fastening systems that help the home withstand severe storms. And from a sustainability standpoint, it allows us to use higher quality materials that will endure over a longer period of time. So the $375,000 isn't just the cost of building a house, it's an investment in security, comfort, and sustainability for the families who will live there, while also strengthening the community's ability to thrive in the face of future challenges.
Absolutely. I think that's incredible. Amazing
Yeah.
work. And obviously, this is, for our listeners regarding Hurricane Katrina and what happened there and the tragedy, the follow up, and everything that's just continuing to be a struggle for a lot of the residents down there and the
Yeah.
people of New Orleans. And it's just really sad. So it's great
Yeah.
to do something amazing to boost them and to have something out there that's just, something to be proud of. So thank you for being part of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You
Yeah. Thank you.
yeah, absolutely. You grew up working with your father in construction and later took over his company before launching your own. How do these experiences prepare you for high level projects like these type of homes that are built in a community setting?
Yeah. Yeah, so growing up working alongside my dad in construction gave me a hands-on understanding of both how homes come together from the ground up, and then when I later took over running over his company, I gained experience not only in building, but then also in managing people, the budgets, working with other trades and client relationships, which realizing that was all very important, not just on constructing the house, but then also making sure that um, we're adhering to what the homeowner or the client wants, as well as making sure that the code that we're adhering to is of such a high standard and quality that it's going to be there not just for the lifetime of, let's say, the material warranty, but far into the future as well, and taking a pride in that. So that combination of practical skills and business leadership taught me how to balance quality craftsmanship with efficiency and accountability. So in short, I bring both the builder's eye for detail and the leader's ability to deliver high quality projects on time and within budget. Two essentials, I would say, for high level community home building.
Absolutely. That is, I couldn't have said it right myself. That's totally true. You have to have, that's the foundation, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, without that, you're basically like, all right, how long is it going to last?
Yeah, exactly. So that's definitely a really good point. The campaign isn't just about the houses, it's about restoring dignity and resilience to the families, like we just discussed. How do
Mhm.
you ensure that a $375,000 build delivers more than just four walls, but also a true sense of as well?
Yeah. Yeah, so for me, building a home at this level isn't just about construction. It's more about creating a space where families will feel safe, proud, and rooted in their community. So with this $375,000 budget, I can focus on the details that go beyond the basics. So like designing with durability and storm resilience in mind, which is always obviously that's very important. Being where we are, having a lot of hurricanes and storms come through almost every year.
Hmm.
And so being able to design with the durability, storm resilience, incorporating energy efficiency to lower the long-term costs for the homeowners, and then using layouts and finishes that'll make the house warm and welcoming. So a true sense of home comes when the space supports everyday life, withstands challenges, and gives the family confidence that'll be there for generations. And that's what we're really trying to achieve with this. Because obviously the people that are going to be living in the houses, we want them, we want the houses to be a place that will support them. It'll be a place that can they can live together and be able to know, what, they have this house that's safe, it's secure, and building it with materials that'll allow it to stand for a long time, but then also help it to have a bit more energy efficiency as well. So lower their costs on the let's say air conditioning and keeping the house insulated and secure to where they're comfortable.
So, okay, so that's the 375, and that explains everything and what's behind it and why it's different to anything else out there. And I think that's important
Yeah.
for people to realize because New Orleans faces frequent hurricanes and flooding, as we know. How do you incorporate resilient design and materials into homes at this price point to ensure long term safety and durability?
Yeah. Yeah, so we're going to be working with one of the top architects in the city who's very familiar with LEED building codes, the LEED building codes. And so I chose this firm specifically for their knowledge and expertise in LEED building code and their ability to incorporate the historic charm of traditional New Orleans architecture. And, and so I met with them last week actually, and we were talking about this project and we were looking at, okay, what are the primary factors we want to incorporate? And the main things are obviously, adhering to building code, making sure it's structurally sound, and then also making sure that the people who are going to be living in it are going to be comfortable and see how we can build in a way that'll help lower their utility costs. So those are all very important factors. And so the architect that I'm working with, we're very familiar with building with these practices, with the LEED practices, as well as building to code. So that's all going to be very important. That's what we want to adhere to, and as well as making sure that we're keeping the charm of the New Orleans architecture. So that's going to be fun.
Fantastic. And
Yeah.
community spaces like the restoration of Pam's Place, could you explain like the detail behind that? First of all, that would be great.
What do you give me that one again?
Um,
Like, what do you mean?
Place. If you could just give us a little rundown on the background of that, and then I'm going to go into the next question as it's part of it. So, Pam's Place,
Sure.
obviously, for our listeners, if you want to explain, the detail and the background behind that, that would be great.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, so Pam's Place being the really neighborhood community park. Um, I find now the majority of the project that we're involved in is going to be obviously building the homes, right? Making sure they're stable and secure and safe places for people to come to, which is obviously important. Now, but then also having Pam's Place, which is going to be the neighborhood playground, and having that and contributing to that is going to be, I find, even, let me put it on the same plane of like even as important as the houses themselves, just because you have, I find the local playground, the parks, it brings the community together, and that's what really makes makes the neighborhood what it is. It kind of gives it an identity, and that's what we're trying to build here.
That's great. That's an amazing message too, which I love. How do you see
Thanks.
investments in both homes and shared spaces working together to strengthen neighborhoods?
Um, How do I see them working together? Well, basically, I see the investments working together hand in hand because the quality homes are going to give residents the pride and the permanence, while the shared spaces are going to strengthen the social fabric that basically makes the neighborhood thrive, right?
Hmm.
And so together they're going to transform the developments into true communities. So it's not just, oh yeah, we put a nice playground and we put these nice houses there, but it'll really bring the neighborhood and the community together where they have a safe house, secure house. It's stable. It's going to be there for a long time, and now they've got a beautiful playground in the community area that everyone can come together and do cookouts, hangouts, whatever they want to do, that will really build the community, and it'll build value for the neighborhood and the area as a whole, which will in turn invite investors or the government or other agencies and individuals to come in and say, I really like this area. I like what's been done here, to want to invest more into it as well.
Yeah, and I think that's definitely bound to happen because it's such a positive thing for New Orleans and the people there and what they've gone through and the heartache behind everything that's happened.
Yeah,
So nice to see something coming together and in the near future, which is very exciting too.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
you were involved in restoring Central Grocery after Hurricane Ida, an iconic
hmm
project. How does that experience shape the way you approach building homes in the lower Ninth Ward at this pace?
Yeah, so working on Central Grocery, that was a lot of fun, by the way. I mean, it's unfortunate what happened to it, but it's just some projects. Like, man, that was a fun project.
So, what was so fun about it? Like, what stood out to you during that time?
Yeah, so I guess on that particular project, so I've worked on a lot of old historic properties here in New Orleans. I mean, most of the city really is historic, right?
Wow.
So you get that just living here.
Yeah.
And then now Central Grocery itself is in the heart of the French Quarter on Decatur, and it's, in my experience, one probably the oldest property I've worked on. And so the entire building is made of brick, except for basically the supports that hold up the floor and the roof, right?
Mm-hmm.
But even that is fit into the brick that supports the whole building. So basically, what happened with Central Grocery was that the wall that extends above the roof, the shear of the wind from Hurricane Ida got that, and then basically knocked it into the roof. So it caved in the brick onto the top of the roof. So we had to rebuild that brick wall, which was about 4 courses of bricks thick. So you put 4 bricks side by side, and that's your wall, right? And then so you overlap them, you stagger them, and we had to do that going up about 120 feet up into the air.
Oh,
So we had yeah, so that was fun.
that's pretty.
It got a great view over the whole city and the river. It was quite nice.
I can only imagine, and you can't
Yeah.
be afraid of heights, right? You've not the job for it, for sure.
No, no,
Yeah,
no. You better overcome that quick on that project.
for sure. With 20 homes planned for 20 by 2025 or 2026 or whatever the time,
Yeah,
this is, yeah, whatever we're looking to do. The campaign represents a $7.5 million investment in the lower ninth. What do you think the
yeah.
long-term economic and social impact of the investment of that investment it will be?
Yeah. So I think it's going to be a great investment, because it's not just going to be creating 20 homes. It's going to be much more than that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to spark long-term economic and social renewal. Now, on the economic side, it's going to generate jobs during construction. It's going to support the local suppliers, and it's going to increase the tax base as families settle and invest in the area, basically meaning that there's going to be more money for the state to reinvest in community projects and outreach. And then over time, the stable homeownership is also going to create an opportunity for the generational wealth, basically like the properties passing down through family members over time, and then encourage further private investment in the neighborhood. And then I'm thinking socially, the impact is just as significant because these homes are going to give families security and pride. And then when paired with the community spaces, they're going to help restore the fabric of a neighborhood that's really carried so much history and loss, especially in New Orleans. And then the stronger housing leads to stronger schools, safer streets, and more opportunities for families to thrive. So, in the long run, this project isn't really just about 20 homes. It's really about laying the foundation for a resilient, vibrant community that's going to benefit New Orleans for long into the future.
Yes, and that is what it deserves, most definitely. So I'm looking forward to seeing how it all starts taking place. That's going to be exciting. Um,
Yeah, me too.
yeah, for sure. As a father raising three children in River Ridge, what does it mean to you personally to contribute to a project that secures these safe, lasting homes for the families at this scale? I mean, obviously, it must just feel so rewarding, number one,
Yeah. Yeah. No, absolutely. I mean, for me, my family always, I put my kids first. And it's funny that you asked me about that just because before I had my first child, it was always like, okay, I work and I take care of myself and my wife. And then once I had my child, it's like, wow, I really have someone to care for, and having the reality of that I can share with other people and that I really want to it almost brings like a responsibility for myself as a builder to say, hey, you know what? I have the opportunity to help this neighborhood and maybe these other people that aren't as fortunate as I am, both financially and having the ability to build my own house or take care of a property or so forth. And I can help these people and say, you know what? I'm going to help the community and build a space that's going to be safe for the children, safe for the families, and provide a nice, secure area that's going to make them feel one, they can have pride in owning it and taking care of it, and then also have the ability to uh, uh, create the space for themselves. So really have that for themselves. And then funny thing about the area too. So my wife's grandmother actually grew up in the lower ninth ward, and she had to endure a lot in her life, just like a lot of people there that they live in these communities and they do that every day. So for me, I love to give back to the community and make a difference. I think it's important for kids to grow up in a safe and stable home, and this is just one of the ways that I can help make that happen. So I really appreciate this opportunity to be able to do this for the community.
Absolutely. And, the most important thing is what the kids are learning, they're going to teach others, and that's what they're going to appreciate with this
Yeah,
generation. And that's what's so even more rewarding. So it goes further than just this. It's like it just creates, positivity and compassion
yeah,
towards people, which is so much what's needed now everywhere around.
absolutely,
Um,
absolutely.
yeah, I think that's the most important thing. And obviously, the amazing work you guys are going to do, and just yeah, it's going to be very wonderful.
Yeah, I agree. It's gonna be great.
The campaign also highlights youth engagement like neighborhood art projects. Do you see the $375,000 per home investment inspiring the next generation to value both creativity and community resilience? We just discussed that too, but the resilience part, that's another part,
Hmm.
right? For the children,
Absolutely.
yeah, to learn and grow from at such a young age.
Yeah,
A lot of these kids, what they experience.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah, and honestly, I feel like that is way more important than the house being built and the neighborhood being built. It's, what it provides to the next generation and the generation after and the generation after is, what how we can help them, how we can incorporate them into working with us on the project, whether it be the art and the design or different aspects that will really bring it all together and make it to where they have a hand in it and they can say, you know what, in the future when they're a little bit older and they can look back and say, I contributed to that. I did that, as well as what they learned from it. And that's going to be so strongly felt for themselves that they can take pride in and say, how they contributed and where they want to go from there. And that's going to be great.
yeah. Like I was part of history, basically modern history.
Yeah,
So that's a huge thing. It's a huge achievement,
absolutely.
huge milestone. Looking ahead, last question. How do you hope
Hmm.
your own company will continue to contribute to projects of this size and impact, helping ensure that investments of this amount per home create lasting legacy for New Orleans?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, looking ahead, so for my company, I want my company to continue to be part of projects that don't just build houses, but build stability and opportunity for families and communities. So with investments of the $375,000 per home, we have the responsibility to make sure every dollar creates lasting value through quality construction, resilient design, and sustainable features that lower the long-term costs, right?
Hmm.
And so then my goal is for our work to set a standard. We want homes that stand strong against the New Orleans' unique challenges, that reduce the financial burdens for families, and that contribute to the strength of entire neighborhoods. So by staying committed to that, we're going to ensure a high level of craftsmanship, the innovation, and the community partnership. And so I see my company helping ensure that these projects leave a legacy, and not just of the buildings, but also of the resilience and pride for generations to come. And that's going to be really important for me to be able to create that, as well as to set a standard of the building industry and where we can go with that.
Well, Ranui Earls, it was such a pleasure to hear this story and hear the upcoming project. That sounds very exciting and everything we've mentioned. And I just look forward to seeing it come into fruition. And I hope that everybody can check out your work as well. Where's the best place to check out the company and everything? So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Absolutely. So yeah, we have so the company is RHE Builders, right? And so you can find us on Facebook. I think we have an Instagram. You can find us on go to rhebuilders.com, and we do a lot of other marketing. Honestly, I don't know all of all of the marketing that we do. I just say, okay, guys, let's get it out. Let's let the people know what we do, and we get a lot of word of mouth and referrals and stuff like that too. So
Fantastic.
I'm really looking forward to working with you guys. I know we're constantly posting photos and some videos of some stuff that we do on our Facebook page. And like I said, really looking forward to working with you guys. Really excited about this project and helping the neighborhood and the community. And it's going to be great, and see what we can do from here on as well.
And we thank you once again so much for taking the time out to talk to us about this. And obviously, you guys can check out Global Green as well at www.globalgreen.org. So, Renui, thank you so much for your time, and I wish you a wonderful weekend. And thank you again.
Yeah, thank you. Have a great weekend.
You too. Bye bye.
All right, bye.